You might be familiar with this structure, with the analytical problems and the cross-cutting themes that's created as kind of matrix on how we, helps guiding our research onto our system governance. Oceans, you can fit basically oceans everywhere in here. In Robin's presentation, we clearly had a couple of questions on the architecture, the fit and the fragmentation of the institutions and the regimes in place. Also the question of the fit of the regime to the ecosystems that we might want to address. The question of scale is one some of our cross-cutting themes in this research framework, both mentioned by Lucia and Robin as a crucial question in ocean governance. Although my initial response when we first started talking months ago about this was, oh, that's a global issue. So I have to learn apparently quite a bit there. So I think we can run down all these topics and we'll find relevant places to address ocean governance. It fits everywhere, which also makes it interesting for many scholarly communities within the project and beyond the project. You don't have to be an international lawyer of the seas to be interested in this. I mean, one of our keynote speakers tomorrow, Sibylle van der Hoef, is actually a deep sea biologist, and she's extremely interested also in the governance of the deep seas. She will speak about nuclear governance actually, which is a completely different topic. But I think our researchers are just multitasking. It also fits very nicely to get the institutional landscape of global environmental change research. I'm not going into detail here, because then we'll have to have ordered dinner here. The point is that the Earth System Governance Project is moving into that new institutional landscape where we will be part of Future Earth, which is the global overarching initiative, program, structure for global environmental change research, which is under the auspices or led by a whole group of international, a coalition of international agencies running from funding agencies, Belmont Forum that has also a particular interest in oceans, ICFA, UNESCO, United Nations University, the International Council for Sciences, and all the other acronyms we have here. They like this kind of research because it would also provide us, from an Earth System governance perspective, a window of opportunity to work closer together with the natural sciences. If we want to do ocean governance research, we have also to look into the natural sciences. We might have to work stronger with the business schools and the engineering people, ecologists. So also in this broader perspective, oceans fit very nicely and are extremely relevant and timely. Many of you might have seen this slide already. This is basically a very simplified model of our project structure that we have, which is basically centered around people. So we have our group of research fellows, dynamic people, bottom-up driven process. I see that Michelle is hiding there in her back. She's doing quite a bit on relevant research, also in Barbados on the oceans as one of our research fellows. We have our lead faculty, including people like Oren, that are taking the academic lead in developing new initiatives, like Oren is now, and very much helping and supporting and driving this process on ocean governance, in our system governance. And of course we have our traditional structures. But how we bring all these people together, how can we make sure that we create most of the synergies here and make a reasonable contribution, a valuable contribution also to ocean governance. So, as an invitation, as a blueprint, as a starting point for discussion, I just would like to propose why not go for a task force on oceans in Earth System governance. We recently launched our first task force on methodologies in Earth System governance, and they're actually having their semi-plenary session at the moment in parallel on the third floor. They are established, well-running. It's also a group that works together with the natural scientists, very closely with the policymakers and the policy-making processes like IPCC. But why not go for a similar construction on oceans? A task force that could bring together researchers to synthesize research findings, because it's not a new topic. There has been quite a lot of work already on it. To facilitate ongoing research, initiate new research, and go beyond research. We have to move also into the other things. So a more coordinated, concentrated group of people working on ocean governance in more general sense could be an instrument to leverage funding, interest, and also impact of our work, more than an individual scientist could achieve. We could provide this task force as an open and inclusive research platform, not just for people from the project, but for all interested communities and individuals. There's like a lot of the people are now here from the modeling community to join the methodology task force. We would never reach them otherwise, but it's a great synthesis that we see here, a great added value. Of course, the task force could help the co-designing of the whole process, making sure that the research we do is indeed policy relevant, while satisfying our academic curiosity. We're shaping the science policy interface, really contributing to that we can bring our findings out and communicating research and policy more in general. We did that previously, the last set, the non-research report, we did the whole thing, but then on the task force and also for the Rio Plus 20 conference, where we did this assessment of the state of art of research in the policy brief. Then we did a more visionary process. What do we really want? What is kind of a science-based vision for future, in this case, sustainable development governance? And then we merged it all in one short publication that had quite a significant impact. So we also can draw in this process on some successful experiences that we already had in the project and some infrastructure and mechanisms and communication channels that are in place. So this is the broad idea of a task force on Earth system governance on oceans. So basically our function would be to bring people together, to provide the wine for a good discussion, move things on, to facilitate the research, make sure that we have the good rigorous science coming out of it, and then bringing it to the policy makers for their attention. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Looking forward to the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruben. I think you like your suggestion about the good wine. So now, Robin, Lucia, and Ruben, if you come and join me here, and we get the lights back on. And let me just say, there's plenty of room at the front table here, so if anybody feels at all motivated to become a delegate rather than sitting behind delegates, please feel free to come up to the front table as we move into the discussion part of this. So we have a substantial block of time. As I said at the beginning, we want to have a kind of town meeting format. We hope that we have given you some sense of the nature of the problem and the opportunity. The whole problematique of ocean governance, and Ruben's comments about at least one potential way forward. So we're very interested here in thinking through and mapping out a kind of a plan which would involve not only research on governance in the conventional sense, but also operating in the realm of what people call co-production. Lucia mentioned co-production. That is the engagement from beginning to end with the policy community, and operating as what you might think of as a boundary organization that plays a role in moving knowledge into the policy discussion and moving concerns of the policy community back to the science community. So with that, I want to just open this up and invite people to reflect on this, to make suggestions, to make comments, to just do whatever you think of this as kind of a brainstorming opportunity around this general sort of set of concerns. So, what is it? Louis?
I feel it's important early on to put some of the content issues, a few of the content